Hello, my name is Verxy, and let's start a new series. Why don't we? Today we're going to be talking about the Frost Demon race, and basically doing a little race review on them, and discussing the pros and cons, and how they fit in DBOG. So, what is the first thing to know about Frost Demons? Well, the first thing to know about them is their outputs. They have a 0.95 in health, 1.1 in agility, zero point 0.9 in key control, zero point 0.9 in physical damage, and 1.2 in key damage. Their total stats add up to be, I believe, a total of what? 505? 5.05? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that is correct. So, in terms of total stat distribution, they are a little higher when compared to other races, which is the average should be 5, as every stat should add up to be 1. So they have a little bump in that. Otherwise, their racial ability allows them to charge faster. They work best as a key damage build, as a key build, because of their key damage. They have the highest key damage in the game if you don't count half Saiyans currently, because they are working as not intended. But when they do work as intended, they Frost Demon should still have the highest damage in the game. And even if they don't, even if Saiyans beat them out, it won't be 1 by much, and 2, they get it at all times because they don't need to be arrowed health. Well, that is something for another video. But yes, what are the pros of this race? Well, obviously, it's your agility at 1.1 and your key damage at 1.2. That is pretty self-explanatory. But what can you do with this? In terms of just in general, key damage is obviously your damaging stat, and that is the most important, the biggest boon of this race, is that they boast the highest damage for key builds. So for Frost Demons, how would you rank their stats? I'll put their health as a D, as they are one of the lowest when it comes to health. Their agility I'll put as an A. A 1.1 is good, but in the actuality of things, it's good in terms of agility, but agility is an amazing stat. Key control I'm putting as a D minus, because it's not a good stat to go into anyway, so it's not something you should be worried about. Physical damage is also going to be a D minus. Physical damage is also a 0.9, but since you're playing a Frost Demon, it's not something you have to worry about. And key damage being 1.2 is an S. S plus 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 minus plus. S, it's the best damage in the game. Like, there's no other output that is as high. So, in terms of a build for this race, what would I suggest? I have all my stats out here. So, what is something that I would do? I would start off with at least 1,000 in a key damage, at least, for the very least. That's something you want. That's something you need for damage. Whether you're doing PvE or PvE, you need that like now, right now. For agility, I'd at least put a good 100 in there. Stamina is important for rushes and all that, and just in general, that's something you want to have. Key control. I would get. Doing the math here, what would give you enough to do 3 blast? You know, that's something you. 3 blast is a nice threshold to get for key builds, right? So I could do at level 500 2 blast like this, right? So let's say I put 200 into it. Charge up. Do 1, 2, not quite 3. Let's do 250. And that would actually be let's do 49 here. So 251, because you always start off with a 1 point. And shooting a death beam, handy cannon, and that. So that is 3. So you could get away with 250 key control. That'd be a good threshold. If you want to shoot more, of course, put more in there. But I'd allocate 250. That's a good threshold for that for level 500. Health. They're a little bit lacking in health, but honestly not as much as other races as well. Like it's the same as Saiyans, I believe. So they're pretty decent. I'd put. Let's start off with 400, and that basically doubles their health. That's pretty good. And what do I want to do with the rest of the stats? 1700. It gives you around 2000 damage, and the rest you could allocate as you want. You could put into, I wouldn't mind putting, let's say, the rest into health, and then having physical damage as 1. So this is my build right now. I have roughly 500 in health, 100 in agility. You could bump that up to like 150, or if you're having problems with agility or anything. My key control is 250. Allows me to shoot 3 key blast. If you want to bump that up to maybe 4, maybe 5, you could bump that up another 100, 200, and take it off from physical damage and have that more of a more in reserve for your shots, and not for going for ultimates and a lot of damage there. So that's not gonna hurt much. And for health, 500 I believe is a decent amount. You're not gonna one shot, I don't believe. Especially as your forms, but it's not as much as other races and stuff, so you still have to be careful. And in totality for their not their stats, but their total in totality for their ranking, I'd still put them as an S. Their charge time did get reduced as well, but you're not going to beat the 1.2 key damage. That's something that you just can't get anywhere else. So yes, that is my dive into the Frost Demon. Their pros being their key damage and their faster key charge greatly heavies them towards a key build immensely. If you're going at physical damage, you're trolling, but it's really funny. In terms of their cons, being a key build has its own cons. So that's something you have to look out for. Their key control being low is something that you have to worry about a bit, since you have to pump in a little more stats in there if you want to get more key blasts, since you are a key build. That's something you do have to worry about. And their health being a little bit low. But other than that, physical damage isn't something you're worried about, so that being low is irrelevant to you. But yes, that is it for me for the dive on the Frost Demon. If you have any questions or any suggestions for videos like this in future, be sure to tell me so I could add this into that, and so I can have more of a structured way of going through this as well, because I don't really have a structure for these videos yet. This is the first one. So yeah, if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Peace out.